back to another Schooner and Hopp beer review.
We've been keen on this one for a while.
Yeah, number 3 in the GABS Hottest 100 for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
It is the Crankshaft Bent-Stoked Crankshaft IPA. And the cool thing about this can is that it decants itself.
Yeah.
So we don't even need to pour them.
This whole thing comes off, which is very exciting.
It's fun. I've only ever had it before in Colonial Brewing. They do it as well. It's really fun.
I've had this before in Bent-Stoked Crankshaft IPA. That's the last time I had a can like this. I don't remember what that was like. I was pretty drunk. But here we go. Let's see if I can remember what this was like.
And would you look at that? Schooner's got a perfect pour. Bent-Stoked, they're a brewery out of Canberra. As far as I can tell, they just seem to be really environmentally conscious, all about helping the community. They sponsor local sporting teams, all about giving their spent grains to farmers.
That's pretty cool.
It seems to be a big thing that a lot of brewers do. They're very environmentally conscious, which is a good thing because
seems to be the way of a lot of
the last time I checked,
stuff.
we only get one world.
Yes.
Unless we figure out interdimensional travel. But
I mean, that'd be pretty cool, but I don't know if I want to meet other dimensions of me.
Or would they be your biggest enemy or your best friend?
I don't know.
It could go really south.
Really depends on what day and what headspace they're in. I'm in. It's a West Coast-ish style IPA. Is an American style.
So it's just going to be bitter.
Yeah,
and delicious.
Very hop forward. If you like your hops, apparently this is the beer for you. It uses 4 that they say on their website. There's the Equinox, which used late in the boil, dry hopped. It's a good bittering one. Apparently a lot of these hops are pretty late additions though. It's only 35 IBU, so
pretty low for
yeah.
It's like in a good IBU area for an IPA. At least one that you'd be able to throw back a lot, so I imagine it's not going to be overly bitter.
No,
but we'll see what happens in the aftertaste.
It's 5.8% as well. The other hops they use, Simcoe, Citra, and Centennial, they're all good for aroma, pretty much.
Yeah, and IPA staples as far as Australian IPAs go.
So
anyway, let's give it a go.
It does smell nice.
It smells delicious.
Smells very nice. Yep.
It smells like it's going to be a throwback.
And that sip, I thought straight away, I was like, this is definitely your kind of beer.
This is just a perfectly simple IPA.
It goes down pretty well.
This is exactly...
This is about half an hour after I woke up. I had a dad nap this afternoon. I'm straight into beer.
Look, some days you need it. I said that Windjammer was that's what you expect out of an IPA, but I think this is even closer to what I expect from an IPA.
There's no doubt as to why this is number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's about as easy drinking and sessionable as you can get.
It makes it the number 1 IPA.
Yeah.
Because everything above it is not.
Yeah, exactly. You got
so I can
practically 2 tropicals, or extra pale. It's
XPA. Yeah. The Bolter XPA is very tropical.
Yeah. So
relies on those flavors.
I think the main difference there is they are just slightly easier drinking.
Yeah.
You won't get over the hoppy notes in that. Whereas if you were drinking this constantly, maybe you'd be like, oh, all right, that's enough hops now. Let's go to something else.
Yeah, it's very bitter off the start. Pretty much all you get is hop flavor. It just attacks your tongue. And I'm left with a really nice hoppy bitterness still in my mouth, and I haven't had a sip for a little while now.
It's a dry hop bitterness. I guess the whole American style thing that people are leaning towards is there's maybe a bit of piney kind of notes you get in there, which is what you'd find in an American style pale.
Definitely.
I think that works really well there because it's kind of in the middle. There's not really an overly fruity flavour to it, and I think that's okay because you get enough on the nose. And also, you can't not smell this beer, whether you're having it by can or whether you are lucky enough to find it somewhere on tap.
Yeah, I'd love to try this on tap.
Having the can open like that, for one thing, it's just a nice little gimmick that people will enjoy.
It is an awesome gimmick.
Yeah,
it makes it easy. You don't have to pour it out into a glass.
It forces you to get that waft of smell in there, whether you're about smelling your beers, which we weren't, but now are.
Yep.
Or whether you're not about it. It's just you're forced to have that, and you're forced to enjoy it. Now look, it looks pretty dark in there, but there's an orange kind of hue to it.
Ambery.
Yeah. which is actually pretty cool. But again, that's
the West Coast
Yeah.
American
Yep.
style is dark.
mm,
No, this is an amazing IPA. And whilst it is quite bitter, it's very clean in flavour. There's no real kind of dirty... A lot of IPAs you can get a very kind of dirty... Not just in the sense that it's not really balanced, I guess. They've made an IPA be really hoppy, but it doesn't feel balanced. But this does.
that might be because
You sip it, it's clean, then here's your bitterness, and then it just softly ends in a really nice aftertaste.
the bitterness you're getting isn't like isn't like they've shoved hops in straight away and are forcing the drink to be bitter.
No,
It's just like naturally bitter from the hops that they've added in, and they're not trying to do anything more than it needs to be, or
It feels purposefully bittered rather than
then it doesn't
aimlessly
feel
bittered.
yeah,
Like,
it doesn't
they
feel
didn't just
bittered for the
throw-
sake of
Yeah.
having bitterness in there, because I think a lot of IPAs will mistake that and be like, oh well, it's an IPA, it needs to be real
really bitter.
heavy hitting bitter.
It's probably not surprising because the head brewer, one of the co-founders, was crowned twice as an Australian
that's right,
brewer
yeah.
champion. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably
So-
why this is such a balanced beer. He's
Good on
brewed
you,
for 20 plus
brewing
years. It's going to be a balanced beer. It's going to taste well.
Yeah, that's around 20 more years than I've been brewing for.
Well, like,
Yeah.
that was just, I don't know if it was, I think it was just 20 before I even started this, and they've been doing this
Oh wow,
for...
that's at least more
They've
than
launched,
20.
this has been active since 2014, which is 5 years. Who knows how long
Yeah.
they spent
Yeah.
post this, working on this.
Pre this?
Who knows?
Working on this? Post this? Working on this or pre this?
Yeah, post working where he used to for 20 years,
Right.
but
Pre this.
Bent-Stoked.
Right.
I don't know. Either way,
How old is the dude?
he
Let's do some
clearly-
maths.
he clearly knows how to make a beer. And it's a nice, it's good because it's an IPA that is just straight an IPA.
Yeah.
It's not trying to be, it's not New England, it's not trying to be over fruity. This is just a bitter, hoppy beer, which, look, I love all my experimental stuff and getting overly fruity, but it's also amazing to just come back to a beer that tastes like a beer.
Yep.
What else can I
Look
say?
at that.
I'm really
It's-
talking this up.
Sold. Great beer to start with. If you've never had any Bent-Stoked stuff, which this is the only one I've had.
This is my first time trying this as well.
There you go. So this brewery is already held in pretty high regard by us now. Off one thing, that's definitely how you judge things. I think it's safe to say Norlot's going to crack my top three.
Yeah, you've got a pretty...
They're
And that's pretty easy
pretty
to see
solid
why you've got
as far as I'm concerned.
tropicals all up there.
Yeah, that's me. It's what, fifth? It's fifth.
Look, it still did well. It surprisingly went above your hazy.
Yeah,
People love it hazy.
I wasn't sure about it, but I just feel like it does a lot more.
It's a better beer.
Yeah, it's just a bit. It's
Not because
It's-
they're different beers, but
yeah. I would, if I was to go into a place right now, or maybe even in a week's time, I feel like if I had both of them side by side on tap, and they're the same price coming in the same size glass or whatever, I'd go for this.
that's fair. That's a good justification.
Yeah. It used to be, would we go out and get a six pack? Now it's like, no, give me the stuff off tap. give me some draft.
Look, I had a Bolter XPA last night, and that just reaffirmed its position very high for me. If I hadn't have had one last night, I don't know, I might have actually put it above it.
Yeah.
It's just really good right now. This is,
We're just gonna have to have an episode where we just compare. We'll just line them all up.
I think
Okay.
as the last couple
sip-
of reviews have been,
Sip them all with sips of water in between
yes.
to try and justify our rankings.
I think it's just the last couple of reviews have been quite fruit-forward flavors.
Definitely.
Just coming back to this, it's just bitter. It's one note.
This is your
It's really nice.
staple beer style.
It really is.
Yeah.
This is what I like.
This is hop at its core.
So yeah, well, I said earlier in the review that I find this to be closer to what an IPA should be than the Windjammer. So that's obviously why it's above that. And it was a tough choice between putting it above or below the Tropical, the Wayfarer
The
by
Wayfarer,
Green Beacon, but
yeah.
pretty much it just came down to I do prefer a bit of flavour.
Yep.
This has it. The
fair.
Tropical's more of a throwback.
That's fair.
And yeah, but even though it is bitter, it's delicious. I'd give it
yeah,
4
rankings.
out of sessionability. I
Yes.
could imagine
Definitely.
easily.
The only reason I wouldn't give it a 5 is solely because I think
You would have
you'd have it.
a couple, and
You could be done with the flavor. You know,
Yes.
it's not something that's going to get more palatable. It's something that might become overwhelming after a few of them. Also, the alcohol percentage might just make it overwhelming.
Yeah, I think if
Yeah.
it comes packaged as a 4-pack, so if you're gonna buy a 4-pack, you could easily
Yeah.
session your
Yeah.
4-pack.
Yeah, I think a 4-pack
Like,
would be a good,
no.
good amount.
Yeah, you'd definitely be there.
Yep.
Bitterness, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. The bitterness is perfect. I love it. You get your bitterness during a sip.
Yeah.
You get the delicious aftertaste.
I think it's done in the right way.
Definitely.
Definitely well thought out, and it just hits everything in the right spots.
Yeah. The combination of hops has clearly been well thought out.
Yep.
They just work really well together. It's just delicious.
Yeah. Aftertaste, I'd even give it a 4
Aftertaste.
for me. Actually, I could probably even give it a 5.
I was going to give it a 5 out of 5
Yeah,
as well.
no, actually, I'd probably give it a 5 because I can't say anything bad about it.
No, because it lingers, but it doesn't linger.
Like, it's certainly
in a-
still there. I can still taste it right now.
Yep.
But it's not like a taste and go, oh, jeez, I need to have another sip to kind of wash that out thing. It's just there, and you're like, that's a good memory. Yep.
And yeah, it's one of the first aftertastes that I've really kind of... For one that's lingered so long, it doesn't have that dirty aspect to it that I find a lot of IPAs can have.
Yes.
And I think that could be just they've just chucked too many hops in. And this, I don't know, maybe this is just a more educated bitterness aftertaste.
It could
I
be.
don't know.
You know, I mean, there are 4 styles of hops in here. Look, maybe that's not many, but as far as IPA is concerned, I don't really know. I've only just started researching it properly. So there is a lot for them to play around with there, and the brewers might have just made the right selection. No, they haven't made the right selection and been like, oh, hey, yeah, we need a bit more of the Equinox, a bit less than Centennial kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they've just got the right balance of flavour versus bitterness, and it just all sits there in the perfect way.
It works. And overall, just because it's an IPA, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
As an IPA, purely based on its bitterness and aftertaste.
Yeah.
It is a perfect IPA.
It is, yeah.
And the only reason it's 4 out of 4... Wait, did I even say 4 out of 4 sessionability?
You said
4 out of 5?
You said 4 out of 5 sessionability.
Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously.
Everything else is 5.
Yeah, everything else was 5.
Yep.
Sessionability was 4.
Yep.
And that's just because IPAs aren't as easy to session on as a lot of beers, but
They're not made for that.
rating
anyway.
it against
Okay.
an IPA, it is 5 out of 5. It
Yeah.
is perfect. I can see why it's the 3rd best beer in Australia
Yeah.
and the number 1 IPA.
If I would have had this, and maybe next time, this year when we're voting on GABS, at the end of the year for it, I'll probably even think about, oh, hey, yeah, what's the best pale? What's the best tropical? What's our best IPA?
Okay.
And if I'm viewing it like that, it's going to be tough to find something else that.
Rather than voting, say, 5 pale ales that you thought were the best,
Yes.
vote for 5
the different styles.
individual styles.
Yeah.
I think that's
it's
a good idea.
It's going to be hard to find an IPA that's better than that. And, it might even be that there might be an IPA that I find that's just like, oh, hey, that's some mango flavour there. Look, tropical, the Twisted Palms on the top of my list. So I like mango flavour and everything.
Hazy's up there.
Yeah. So that would, I feel like, would be the only thing that would make me vote another IPA over this one. Is just personal taste. But if I was being completely objective and
this
a
is-
proper reviewer,
Which you almost kind of are.
completely unbiased, I wouldn't be able to. I don't think I'd be able to put anything above it. So good on you, GABS voters.
Yeah.
Solid effort.
Good choice, Australia.
Yeah,
Um,
that's one for us.
that was delicious. We've been Schooner and Hopp.
We have, and we've enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely get it if you haven't had it.
Yeah, for sure.
Cheers.
Cheers.